Well, what came across my mind, I was just sitting here thinking about how the brand extension for Raw and SmackDown was. Let me turn on this TV. And it was like really cool how they did that, back in the day. They like had, you had your Raw brand, you had your SmackDown brand, you had guys like Batista, Undertaker, Finley, and Matt Hardy. I'm doing the more the 2006, 2007 because they 2003 they had like Brock, Big Show, A Train, and Rhino and John Cena. Randy Orton was on Raw, Triple H, Batista, Jericho, Christian, and Trish Stratus. We had the Raw brand. Well, anyway, they of course they had their own they had show exclusive pay per views, which I think they should bring those back in a ways because and I know people are gonna get a little irritated how I'm gonna say this because the wrestling fans can get really agitated on every little thing. Well, and I'm a wrestling fan myself, so I guess I'm in the category as well. Because I can't really single them out because I'm a wrestling fan. But some of them get a little too defensive. What I'm trying to say is, when Vince McMahon took away the brand exclusive pay-per-views back in 2007, I think the last one was Vengeance, I think it was, in '07. I could be wrong. Could have been earlier than that because I remember when I was getting my DVDs from Best Buy around that time, I started realizing they started doing combined shows, which I think once in a while is cool, But I think SmackDown in particular should go back in this day and age, should go back to doing exclusive pay-per-views. Like, let's say Backlash could have been for SmackDown. I'm gonna throw something around. Let's say Battleground's more NXT because NXT got their own pay-per-views. NXT got Battleground. Let's say they brought back Judgment Day. Let's say Judgment Day came back and that could have been a Raw thing. And the theme of Judgment Day and on the play of the group Judgment Day. But Judgment Day pay-per-view been a while, way longer than the group Judgment Day, of course. But you see though, you can focus on the Raw talent and focus on the SmackDown talent because there's guys who do not get used. Like look Otis and I know the Alpha Academy. You got the Wyatt Six. You can use these guys when you have brand exclusive pay-per-views. And I can see Money in the Bank being a duel. I can see Royal Rumble being a duel. Of course, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series. I get that. Saturday Night Main Event is a TV special. I can see that being a dual event. Because a TV special, you want to bring everybody together. Cool. I'm not drinking the Vince McMahon Kool-Aid. I know a lot of people was upset because Vince McMahon brought back WWE Vince McMahon brought back the brand extension, the second wave brand extension in 2016. But people got upset because I know in 2019, Vince McMahon started doing the wild card, which I never thought that was a bad idea actually because the wild card kind of mixed things up. I think the draft. I'm not a big fan of the draft, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I like how they had the wild card, where they had a couple of guys come over to SmackDown and a couple of guys go over to Raw. They even have a couple of guys go to NXT from time to time, and now that they got Evolve, things could work a lot better, when they did that. And this is before the Evolve and all that, and NXT was around. But I did like that wild card because it shook things up a little bit. Now, the draft, I don't think, and I know people say, well, the wild card undermined the draft. Well, that's the thing. Because even if you remember around I want to say mid Ruthless Aggression era, kind of when we still in the heights of the draft era, the first draft era before they decided to combine the shows because they started to loosen it up quite a bit in 2000, late '08, early '09. It worked, and I liked it. And yeah, they had the draft, but I think if you're a champion, because the way they had it, if you was the champion or you held some type of title, you was locked to that brand. There was some cases that they broke that rule. You know, it's wrestling. Come on now, it's not it's wrestling. But it spiced it up a little bit. You know, let's say Chad Gable got tired of Raw management. Of course, he can just get a trade and you can trade over, to another show. But it's cool when they can float around and you don't know if they're coming or not. You know what I'm saying? And it's the suspense of disbelief. It's like, wow, like really, like when the New Day kind of was floating around and coming on SmackDown for no reason in 2019, it was kind of like, wow. But the wild card worked if it was used, if it's done right and made sense. Like, the perfect time would have been like now. And I know the WrestleMania is past, is done, is over with. We heading on to WrestleMania 42. It's kind of crazy to me that, and Cody Rhodes, I know people going to blame The Rock, and I want to get some heat on this, but I don't really, The Rock not being there, didn't really, I mean, yeah, it kind of dented the story a little bit, but The Rock, I mean, Cody Rhodes is the guy, so he should have been, it wouldn't have mattered if The Rock was there or not. Just like Stone Cold Steve Austin pulled out of Taboo Tuesday 2005 and had Batista come in as a replacement. I didn't know about it at the time, but Batista did it, it wasn't the best match, but Batista tried his best to get it over, and it got over, and went on about his business. And he was a SmackDown superstar that went on a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. I guess that went full circle what I was talking about earlier about the wild card and coming, and whatever, They pulled Batista from SmackDown to Raw for one night. But anyway, the job got done. It went, and everything went as planned, I guess. But that was pretty messed up. We almost got Austin return in 2005. But yeah, the brand extensions, I like the idea. I've loved the idea since they introduced it back in 2002, because when I started watching wrestling really in 2002, I was kind of off and on before 2002, but 2002 been dedicated. That's the word I need to use. From 2002 to now, the idea of the brand extension was good. I just like when they can kind of loosen them up here and there to get fresh matches. But the one thing I did enjoy, as with the brand extension days, was the brand exclusive pay-per-views. Like, and I think we can use the championships better. We can get storylines, more storylines better, because I thought that's the one thing that they did actually in that era. They actually had better and fleshed out storylines, because the new brand, the dual brand pay-per-views kind of mess up a lot of storylines. Like, for an example, Backlash should have been a SmackDown thing. We can really kind of focus on SmackDown. Then we can focus more on Raw when the Raw pay-per-view come. And like the Saturday Night Main Event is coming up in May. Then we can dual brand that because it's a TV special. And then you can kind of divert a little bit from some of the storylines, but because it's a special. But kind of stay on story, but kind of like, like throw some stuff together, but make it make sense, of course. And then go on about your business. But brand exclusive pay-per-views need to return. And I'm going to make this video short. I'm probably going to make another part to this. I got to think a little bit more. I don't write nothing. I just free it, I just free talk. But I'm going to make a part 2 video hopefully soon. And I'll talk to you guys later.